I guess we are now live. Good evening and welcome to my live stream. I'm Bob Pace and I'm very honored to have a guest tonight. Her name is Hannah Taylor. We'll be talking to her in a bit here. I want real quickly to go over a couple things. You've reached tonight's show, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace, and I've been doing this now twice a day for 20 months for a year and a half. And this show is open to everybody from around the world, not only from the United States, from around the world. I have right now 12, total of 23 countries, including the USA. And I have every state that has talked to me from every state, including Washington, D.C. Now, I'm on twice a day. I have my morning show on Fight CPS with Bob Pace and then my evening show. And I've been doing this constantly to help you all because this is a room where I really do try to help. I really try to help. CPS, what I call CPS, the Child Protection System, there are rogue entities. There are entities that have gone bad. And it's very frustrating for a lot of us that are caught up with it. I'm sure that Hannah has a great story to tell, and we'll hear about her case soon and see if we can help her. But I want to thank all of you that come in here regularly. We have tonight Cruella, who is Felicia from Oxnard, California. And she says, hello, Uncle Bob. Hello, Uncle Bob. I need info on parent rights. Well, I'll help you soon with that, Cruella. I'll help you soon with that. And anyway, I think we'd love to. Oh, a couple things I don't want to forget. If you want to text a message, please do so, but make it a question or comment about CPS. Please state your first name, your city or country, your state, your city or county, I should say, your state and country. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from the beginning to the end. Now, if you want to be a guest, like we have with Hannah here, to be a guest, all you have to do is contact my show producer, Grace, at vincentwdaves.com, and you'll be able to be a guest on my show. It's just one of my 14 shows you just want to pick there. Please call. Third way is if you want to call in and talk on the show, both Hannah and myself can try to help you. All you do is call 626-698-0990. And we're going to have Hannah talk to us. We really want to hear what you have to say, not what I have to say, because I've had so many different stories there. And so Cruella has asked a question. This is the first time yesterday that once rights are terminated, biological parents don't have access to case file information where that is true. If you give up your rights to your child, you won't be able to see your child till you're 18 if you can find them. It's a sad tragedy because I lost my daughter at age 12. My rights were not, well, they were kind of terminated because she divorced her parents at the age of 12. All because of a revenge by a social worker. A social worker was caught committing perjury, and they will commit perjury because they lie. And when she was caught lying, she wanted to retaliate, so she retaliated. Anyway, Cruella, you don't want to lose your rights to your children. She has two babies that live with her father. Her brother is trying to have her evicted out of the home that she's taking care of her mother. Her mother's missing. And I think it's purposely they're trying to take away and make her life more miserable than it is. But she's a very sweet person. She's been in here all the time, Cruella. Okay, Hannah, enough of me talking. I need to hear from you, and I need to hear from what you, I guess you can start with day one. First of all, where are you from? Where are you from?
Hi, thank you for having me on the show because I did not know how illegitimate, how much CPS lies. I did not know that they would lie on tests, on the stand. I thought that they were a pillar of the community here to help, and that has proven to be the complete opposite here. I'm in Carson City, Nevada.
Well,
So
welcome from
basically,
Carson City. And how did it start with you? How did your involvement was a knock at the door?
no. I did make a mistake. After losing my child to due to a doctor's mistake, I had a baby. He was 2 days old. Due to a doctor's mistake, I had significant time in recovery. After he died, I couldn't maintain my sobriety, and I relapsed. I got pulled over, illegally searched. I had, I admittedly, I'll tell you my part in this. I did have drugs on me, and they told me that since my son who was with me, he's 5, his car seat wasn't buckled in, that they were arresting me for felony child endangerment. And at that time, I did not know that that is not child endangerment. That is a seatbelt ticket. And so when they told me that, I admitted that I had drugs hidden on me. So they lied, and I didn't want to get in any more trouble, and I surrendered right there. And under the false pretense that they were going to take me to jail for child endangerment. That's not child endangerment. That's a seatbelt ticket. Come to find out. So basically, my kids were taken on April 11th. At that time, I was trying to make phone calls for somebody to come and get my kids. My other kids that are involved in this are 15 and 17 years old. I was a block away from my house. I called my 17-year-old. He came with a neighbor to come and pick up my son. That was the only phone call that they let me make. I wasn't allowed to make any other phone calls for family to pick up my kids. So they filed a petition, and in this petition, it alleges that I went to jail leaving my kids with no caretaker, and that I don't have the proper parenting skills to take care of my kids. So that's my part in it. And I can see my part in it, right? Um, so basically, they put my 5-year-old son with his teacher, his kindergarten teacher, who absolutely can't stand me, hates me. We've had problems the whole time. They're calling her fictive kin. She's completely alienated me. My son and I were very close, and he's not calling me mom anymore. She asked him to call her mom. So now my son's treating me really different. I get to see him twice a week for an hour in the CPS office. I've never missed a call. I've never missed a visit. Meanwhile, my 15 and my 17-year-old, who were scared of the foster care system, ran away. They ran away, and they were gone for 40 days. And I finally get a hold of them on Snapchat, and I beg them to come back and that we'll work this out. Now they're in juvenile hall. They're stuck there because there's no placement. There's no placement for them. Now, I keep asking what I can do to get my kids back. I've gotten substance abuse evaluations. I'm at an NA meeting right now. I go to 1 or 2 of those a day. I do my step work. I do random drug tests. I take 3 parenting classes, a seatbelt ticket, a nutrition class. I'm living in the solution here. And I'm doing everything I can to be the best version of myself because, like I said, I'll admit I did make a mistake. They will not give me a case plan. I know that you're supposed to have a case plan within 45 days. I've had other social workers ask as well about this case plan, but because I'm going to a fact finding, they're retaliating against me. They refuse to tell me how I can get my kids. They won't give me an in-home safety plan. Now, when they took my kids, they went and illegally searched.
Okay, we temporarily lost Hannah. Hopefully, she'll be back. We're having a little bit of a difficulty there. She may have internet connections. What right now is that we have a guest. Her name is Hannah Taylor, and she's from Carson, Nevada. And apparently, she has 4 children. Her most recent child died at birth. There's some difficulty there. Meanwhile, she has a 5-year-old child, and her 5-year-old child is didn't have his car seat belt on. Now, yes, it would be a seatbelt violation, but it's also child endangerment. That is a separate charge. It's not a criminal charge unless the district attorney brings it as a criminal charge. It's a CPS charge. It's a CPS charge. Welcome back, Hannah. Um, Let me try to get you on here. I don't have your mic yet. Hold on, Hannah. Okay, there you go. I tried
Okay, I
again.
apologize.
That's
I'm
okay.
not sure
We
what
can
happened.
stop there for a second. That's all
Okay.
right. I've been explaining your story. I basically say you have four children. You have an older one's 15, 17. You have a 5-year-old one, and you had one that recently died at birth. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. And unfortunately, you were stopped. I don't know what you were stopped for. Were you stopped for speeding?
No, I was stopped because my moving permit wasn't had fallen off the window. It wasn't
The
taped to the
moving
window
permit.
anymore.
Oh, okay. So your car registration must be expired, and you must have had a permit to move the car, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. So they stopped you, and when they stopped you, they're going to look for other things, and they saw that your son didn't have a seatbelt on. And you're right. Technically, they could write for a seatbelt ticket, but technically, if CPS is involved, they can say you're endangering the child by not having them properly. It's called neglect. And so that's how CPS would get involved. They always get involved because the police, in turn, will contact, they're mandated by law, they're a mandated reporter to report neglect or abuse. And they probably called the CPS and said the child was found without a seatbelt on. So automatically, they're going to get involved, CPS, and charge you with neglect. Meanwhile, the officer, what did the officer write you for not having the registration displayed properly? Or what did he write you?
They didn't give me a ticket. They took me to jail for possession and they dropped the child endangerment to the seatbelt ticket that it should have been anyways.
Okay. So they're not going to have the district attorney file a complaint because they could legally child you with child endangerment too. But they didn't do so. Meanwhile, your 15 and 17-year-old ran away from home because they're scared, and I don't blame them because the purpose of a lot of the CPS is to alienate, and that's why your son is being right now. The foster care family is alienating your child, which is wrong. They should not be alienating your child because alienation is illegal. And CPS does it all the time. They try to alienate the children from the parents for the purpose of making more money off your child. As long as they keep your child in custody, they're getting $20,000 a day, a month for that child from the state. The state pays the county. And again, the federal government pays the state. It's $1 trillion business. And I'm sad to tell you that a lot of the CPS agencies have found out the money is more important than families or reunified families or returning families. Apparently, you need help. You may have been struggling. What is the story about the fathers? Is the same father the father of all four children, or is it different fathers?
There's different fathers for each of the
Okay.
children.
So you
One of
have
the one of
four
the
different
fathers was on the
fathers.
way to pick the kids up, and they said that because he didn't remove the kids from my house, his child from my house, they alleged that he knew about my relapse, but he doesn't live in this town and he didn't know about the relapse. So those are the allegations against him. Who and
Well,
he's
I'm
been
kind of
sober for
confused.
11 years, owns a own
I'm
company, and
kind of
is doing
confused.
amazing.
Is the relapse after your involvement with CPS, or did you have a relapse before CPS, or was it a relapse because of the death of your child?
It was a relapse due to the death of my child. And that's why I was struggling. And that's why I had drugs on me that day. But that's when CPS got involved during that traffic stop.
Did you have did you have a drug problem before your birth of your fourth child.
Yes, I've been struggling with addiction and I've been in recovery since 2018. So I had significant
Okay.
recovery time. Um,
Now, did you have a CPS case with them um, prior to the birth of your last child?
I did two voluntary CPS cases. Yes, I did. One was
So you
because
already
my,
have a history. Okay. That's why
yeah,
they're putting the hammer down. They're coming down
right.
hard. And I'm so sorry that that's happening to you.
They're not giving me any good faith effort. They refuse to give me a case plan with smart goals that outline how I can get my children back. Because I'm a single mom who is struggling, admittedly, but they're not telling me the solution to this, and they're refusing to give me a case plan. The most craziest thing about this case is that 30 days after removal, they took my 5-year old's hair and they gave it a hair test, and they told me that it was dirty for meth, and I'm like, what? No. So I
Was
immediately
it
asked
their
for,
test? Was it their test? Or did you do your own insurance company have a test done? Was it their test?
originally it was their test. I immediately asked for a retest because I knew there wasn't drugs in my baby's hair. um and they refused. At first the supervisor said yes, but they drug their feet. 2 weeks later I asked my caseworker, she refused it. Now, with the next day I went into a visit, I already had ordered home drug tests through a certified laboratory, and I had the test and I had scissors. And they had cut his hair twice in 1 month, trying to hide this fake test. I go to find out that there's no medical review officer that validates these tests. And that test wasn't for exposure, it was for drugs of abuse. So they're trying to say that my 5-year old baby was doing drugs. My test came back negative for everything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I
you got a
filed an
problem.
emergency motion to
Yeah.
get his hair tested at a secondary lab because the hair test is faulty. That's a fake
Yeah,
hair
well,
test.
what I'm telling people out there that are listening in is that you never want to go to their doctors or their places or anything they suggest you do to. If they want something, you use your doctors, your medical insurance, and you do it yourself because you can't trust them because they do
Exactly.
things secretive and they're corrupt. The Child Protection Agency, I wouldn't say all of it's corrupt, but I say a large part of the group because I've talked to over 2,000 people from around the world, from places like Bangladesh and Saudi Arabia or Rwanda or England or, Canada or the United States, all the different states and so forth. Um, I've talked to these people and they've been on my show. Last night I had my South African mother from South Africa and she talked on the show. So these are real stories, these are real people. And so the common thing everybody has, is, of course, is income. We all seem to be at this low income. It's not our choice. It's not what we really want, but it's the best we can do. One thing that everybody has in common is they love their family and they love their children, and they'll do anything to do for their children. So you guys are always good parents coming on this my live stream because you care. You wouldn't be on here if you didn't care. If you're out there just wanting to do drugs and don't care about your children out there. I'm not here to preach anything against drugs or for drugs, but if you're going to raise children, you have to stay away from drugs. I know that it's a hard thing to do, but that's one thing that's really hard. If you're going to have responsibility of children, then we have to, put drugs on a hold or be discreet about it. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about a lifestyle or a change or that. I'm here to try to understand and help you. At first, did you ever get an attorney?
I tried to get an attorney. A lot of attorneys around here will not take 432B cases. I paid $325 for a consultation with a lawyer, and the lawyer told me after that consultation that she couldn't do it because it was a conflict of interest.
Jeez. Well, that's the sad thing too. Most of us are not very good at picking out lawyers or picking out consultations. I got some good news. By you being on the guest in the show, I will give you the opportunity to talk to a real attorney for 15 minutes for free.
That's great.
And
Thank you so much, Bob.
that is something that you can look forward to, and you make your list of questions and you prioritize your questions. I'm not saying you need to hire him or anything else. He will just sit there and answer your questions. Now, that's doing a Zoom private consultation. His name is Vincent Davis. He's the one
I
that you
know
see on
Vincent.
the
I know
video.
of him. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you will have that private one-on-one with him on Zoom. Now, um, the two cases you had prior, how did they start? Can you start with your first case? Because it sounds like you have three CPS cases, right?
Yes. So the first one was back in 2019 or 2018, excuse me, and it was not my case. My son, who's 17 now, the 17-year-old, when he was 12, I didn't have custody of him. His father had custody of him. His father beat the crap out of him and sent him to school, so CPS took them. CPS never got a hold of me. I found out through the grapevine and went straight to the CPS office and did the things that they told me to do in order to get custody of my son, in that I got full custody. I did this with flying colors, no problems. They commended me. They loved me. I mean, they had
Yeah.
no problems with me.
Why were you separated from your son in the first place? Why did you not
It was
live
a
with the man?
custody battle with his father, who looks
Were
far
you
better
guys
on face.
married at the time? Were you guys married?
No, I had my son 3 days after I turned 16 years old.
Right, but you weren't married to the man? Were you just lovers?
Never. It was kind of a one-off thing.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you guys didn't use abortion to kill that son because that son has a right to live. So that was good. Um, so that's one thing you can say you're blessed with is that you have a 17-year-old son now, but at 12, he was really, um, he'd be struggling because he needs a mother as well as he needs a father. So this man, and you were fighting over this son that you guys conceived, and somehow, why did he get custody and you didn't?
They just drug me through the mud, and sometimes it's not fair. Sometimes it's really not fair in the way that I was struggling financially, and he and his wife weren't, and he
Oh,
looks
he was
better on
married
paper.
when he had this child with you at 16?
No, he was married when he took custody from me through family court.
He was married. I'm confused. He had a relationship with you. You have a child. Then he gets married to another woman.
Yeah, pretty quickly after.
Wow. So
Right,
he's
so they
trying
took
to
him.
make himself look good by having a mother father type thing. Okay.
As a matter of fact, when he got taken from his father was in the police academy. This is the type of man that it looked like was winning the custody cases. And I, you know, looked like I was just waiting tables. I was a dancer. They used all that against me. They looked better. They did look better, but I loved my son considerably more and would never hurt him.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because you're 16 years old, and again, it's not a right age to start having children because you're right at your high school life, and you have a life ahead of you, and having a child is a big responsibility. Um, well, you must have did something right for 12. You had 12 years with him when he was taken from you.
No, he was taken when he was only 2 years old. He was with me for the
Oh,
first
only
2 years.
two. Gee.
So from 2 years old to 12 years old, he lived basically with his dad, and I was Disneyland mom. I fought for the weekend visits I did get with him, but I told him I would never give up, and I didn't. And I kept going into litigation, and I kept filing things, and I kept improving my life.
And you couldn't
And
afford an attorney at that time.
no,
Did you get a court appointed attorney?
I did, but They really
They
drug
don't.
me. They really drug me through the mud and painted me to be this bad person.
That's what these attorneys. Some of them are bad. The court-appointed attorneys are not the attorney you need for your cases.
Exactly. But
You need someone.
it was crazy because they were saying that I wasn't fit to be Joel's mom, oh, my 17-year-old's mom, but I had a son and a life with my son, and I was raising my son properly, my other son. So how can I raise one son but not another son?
Yeah, yeah. Let me take a moment here. There are a lot of people that have chatted. You probably see it on the screen. There's one person called Oop, OPP. I'm here. I don't know where you're from, Oop. If you can tell me where you're from.
That's me.
Cruella. Oh, that's Oop, is you? Okay, good. Now I know that. That's from Carson, Nevada. Okay, and then we have Cruella, who I said hi. And she calls me Uncle Bob because she comes in here twice a day, every day that I've been on here. And I need info on parent rights, she was asking. I heard for the first time yesterday that once rights are terminated, biological parents don't have access to case file information. That is true. Once your rights are terminated, it's a hit and miss when your kid turns 18 that you'll see him again. Why wouldn't my appellate attorney say that when I ask her for transcripts? Because your appellate attorney is your court appointed attorney. They're not really a appellate attorney. They're just a court appointed attorney. They work for CPS. They're not going to help. She made her best attempt at all sending them to me. I guess she says he shipped it out. Well, they may be lazy. They may be lying. I don't know, Cruella. Now, I didn't say that I no longer have access to the info. Oh, well, I'm confused what you mean by that, Cruella. Should she had mentioned that upon my request? Well, everything is, I mean, people should be open and honest, but I'm afraid that your court appointed attorney is in there. So, so is it possible to gain access or to petition? Yes, it always is possible. You just got to try. You got to try. I know that Christina Reynoso in Las Vegas, Nevada will help you. She's been working with you. All you have to do is ask Christina Reynoso to help you. Will the filing be considered justified if I do it myself, or should I? No, you can do the filing yourself, but you should always try to get an attorney, Cruella. Now, we have Intended Eve, and she was on this morning, and she gave a lot of help to a lot of people. And Intended Eve, I forgot where you're from, Intended Eve, but welcome back, Intended Eve. Best you can do is call the court clerk office and ask them directly. Have your case number read. The deputy who helps you should tell you if there's a form number or a name that you can file. Thank you, Intended Eve. Now, I do want to say thankful to a Indian lady from Nebraska that was on my show last night. At tail end of the show, she was talking to me after my show had ended. But I would hope that the lady from Nebraska would come back to this room. Now, Intended Eve, some you can file and some only the attorney can file for you. Either way, the deputy should be able to inform you. Now we have Race Angela. I need a lawyer. Please, someone help me. I had a 3-hour interview with Cynthia a few years ago. Cynthia, can you help me, please? I have no idea who Cynthia is. And Reese, I don't know where you're from, but if you call me tomorrow morning between 8 and 10, I can help you with a lawyer, or from 11 to 1. Monday through Friday, I'm on the phone to help people find an attorney from 8 to 10 and from 11 to 1. I do my live streams twice a day. So we got there. Now, Intended Eve is asking, did your appeal hearing due date pass? Okay. Renee says, I called Vincent Davis' office and never got help. Please, I need a lawyer, as the pedophile rapist sheriff deputy father still has her, and it's now. I'm 10 years old. Okay. Reese, are you a child or are you a mother? I'm trying to understand what you're saying. still has her and is now 10 years after kidnapping her right after she disclosed his sexual abuse. And now he's taken me back to court to say she no longer wants to see me. He's lying and he's trying making her say that, and I can't find a lawyer. Please help. I've never done anything wrong before. Reese, I have no idea where you're from, but please tell me. But please call me tomorrow morning from 8 to 10 and from 11 to 1, and I'll help you. All right, Reese? Okay. We have uh, Lenore Beatrice's McDonald's. I have no money for an attorney. The case was unfounded, yet they never gave her rights in the state of Missouri. As soon as she told her mother she had been molested by older girls that stopped her from any contact. She never broke her safety plan. They don't make any contact with the mother. They've now moved my great granddaughter to Mississippi. We have no contact with her. This started when she was 4 years old. She turned 13 on June 10th and has been physically, mentally, sexually abused in the system now. Lenore Beatrice, are you a grandparent? If you're a grandparent, we would like, you can get a book, and I'll put the book up where you can get the book. It's a grandparent's guide. It's a step-by-step guide. You need to go to, here it is. It's a grandparent's guide, and it's only $9.99. And if you go to that website and put in my code, capital P, capital A, capital C, capital E with the number 50, you get it for half off at $9.99. That book is a great guide. It'll help you with getting adoption of your grandchildren if that's what you're trying to do. If that's what you're trying to do, you go to stand.store. There's a lot of information on that site about Vincent Davis that you can see. So that should help you. Let me see, where is that? Now I've lost you. There's so many people coming in. I'm having a hard time keeping up with everybody. Oh boy. I'm glad you're here, Kayla. I have a guest on the show, Lenore Beatrice McDonald. I guess you're from Mississippi. Kayla, I'm sorry I'm late, but I made it. I'm glad you did, Kayla. And Tenerife, who sends a message to Reese Angela, the court cannot deny your parental rights of engaging with your child. I advise you to request for more visitation time a day. Additionally, if you're and Tenerife, I think she's a grandparent. I don't think she's the mother. Jocelyn Jacobson, here with you, Hannah. I love you. Hold up space for us, mighty way. Okay, it sounds like Hannah Taylor has a friend out there named John Jacobson. So they're hanging in for you. Now,
My support
Tentative.
team.
Okay, great. I'm glad to have them there. Tentative counseling, finance officer provide a bonded study. Yeah, I've heard about that. A bonded study is really good. Have this bonded study when you're having your visits with your child. The therapist will work with you and your child to create this bonded stories. Thank you, Tentative. Stronger bonds. Once you have a disorder summary, take that into court. This will work in your favor to regain custody. And Kayla says most attorneys in Milwaukee, she's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, won't represent CHIP cases. I think maybe because they know they're not qualified since they're only family law. You guys need a specialized attorney to fight CPS, one that is schooled in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those three go together. You need that. Additionally, attendee says, get an investigator if you have the means or someone who's willing to do it for you to obtain evidence for you. And Kayla says, hi, attendant Eve. Kayla, you can fight with this with the attorney provided for you. Remember, just because the county pays for the attorney does not mean they get to dictate the outcome of the case. It's still yours. That's so true. If you have a court-appointed attorney, you need to kick them in the seat of the pants and tell them that they will work for you and fight for you. Otherwise, you will sue them and charge them for negligence. Also, you can call the state attorney board and have them removed as attorney, have their license removed. You can make a grievance or a complaint. That's all you have to do. And that's done at the capital of your state. I agree with you, Antenna. They need to work for you. Cruella says, Antenna Evie, I called Superior Appellate and Supreme Courts about my transcripts. The recorder in the juvenile court told me I don't have access, but I called the same courthouse prior to. And at that time, she gave me quotes on the prices to obtain the docs. Again, Cruella, you don't have to pay if you're low income. You just fill out a low income paper. I know money's tight for you, Cruella, but you can get that in there. And then Kayla and Reese, there's an organization that's called CASA. They are advocates for your children. Sign them up. I'm sorry. And Tenerife, you have to be careful about CASA. I've had bad experiences with the court appointed. The CASA people are ears for CPS. They will also brainwash your child. They also will try to listen to what you have to say. Everybody in courtroom is appointed a CASA. And that is supposed to be an advocate to help you with your case. The problem being is their ears for CPS and their bad CASA out there. I have a son who's 25 and the CASA still has meals with him because she's fishing. She's fishing. And my daughter, who's 12, was encouraged by her CASA. They're using her as a billboard on their CASA things. It's sad. Even the judge is on there. So there's a lot of corruption going on. I know it firsthand. So, Eve, I disagree with having anybody deal with CASA. They're bad news. I'm not trying to say it. Now, she says if you have monitor visits, do not use the resource provided directly by the CPS office. They work against you. I agree. You got to be careful because they're going to set you up. She says, find an organization that are 501c. That's a nonprofit organization. I know what a 501c is. Kayla says, I heard CASA before. I think the one I heard of is north in Wisconsin. You want to stay away from them. They're not good news. Yeah, there is any kind of law that says we don't have to use resources as long as we're getting the resources. Attendant even, this is a message to Corella. The person recording the transcripts is a contracted individual. They may or not want people to have their info in order to order a copy. You need to get it from the clerk. You go to the courthouse and speak to the clerk, the court clerk, and you're entitled to those documents. Thank you, Attendant Eve. You're from California. If the attorney obtains the copies of the transcripts, it'll be free of charge to you. And you're in California too. Yes, I know Cruella is. Cruella is in Oxnard. Yes, I'm aware. I have no attorney though. Yeah, Kayla, it is your right with whom you choose to work with. Cruella, find an organization that'll help you with that. Contact CASA to see if they have further resources that will pay and file for you. I'm sorry, I don't know what your feeling is with CASA, but I have a real negative feeling about them because they've not helped. We had CASA individuals to my wife and I, and they destroyed our family. They destroyed our family. So I've had nothing but bad experience with CASA firsthand. The same woman from the juvenile recorder department said my case was highly confidential. It sounds like she was emphasized that my case was somehow more confidential than others. No, it's not. They're just trying to get out of doing work. I'm going to look up CASA right now so he says they can act as a bridge between you and the child. CASA is supposed to be an advocate, but they're also big ears for CPS. They will tell what you're doing. You disclose information to them. You just got to be careful. And then Cruella says, I assume they say that because there are military service members involved. I don't know about that. I agree with you, and Tenny says, the advocate on behalf of your children, but do not shy out of any information provided to your child. Other ways, they keep you in the loop. Not necessary. My children were never told what the parents were doing. They were abused and hurt. I know all this firsthand. Been getting the runaround about my transcripts, well, about any and everything regarding my case regarding. They are your entitlement to records. You need to put your foot down, Cruella. Intending, on the contrary to social workers and the attorney provided to the court, they keep you away as much as possible to have control. No, they don't. The cases that have been involved in my cases and over the 2,000 people I've talked to in here have been trouble for people. There are other organizations that can provide you with resources outside of the circle. I agree. I know you're unaware, and thank you for the update. I'm not trying to say that maybe some people have had good experience with CASA, but do not tell CASA anything. They're fishing. They're going to hurt you, and they will take away your children. And Kayla says, yes, that's very true. Every time I started to get a few visits on my belt, they would cancel them. They figure out a way to cancel them. They do that as a part of trying to alienate you from your children. COVID was their best excuse yet. They didn't actually have it working right now. Yeah, COVID was a bad experience. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm caught up here. And I'm sorry, Hannah Taylor. I guess you're on a mission to go somewhere because I see that your car is running.
Yes, I am just leaving a meeting.
Okay, I understand that. And I understand you have another life here, but I'm trying to help you. I'm sorry I've had to take time to answer all these people, but I have a lot of people that come in here
Oh, no
and I
problem,
want
Bob. I appreciate you.
I want you to know that you can step in and help with anything because these are real people that come here. These are people that are hurting, and no one knows more than the people that are in here about what it is to fight CPS. CPS is very corrupt. I can emphasize that. I can't say all of it is, but the ones I've talked to, there's been really sensible people like Betty Joe from Montana who's trying to have access to her niece, and they are really against the CPS in Nebraska, where her niece is. They're against, family member kinship being involved.
That's
But
happening in
anyway,
my
go.
case as well. They've denied everybody. They have denied all of my family, or, I don't have a lot of family, but I have a lot of fictive kin family. They've denied
Well,
everybody.
yeah, at 16, you have your firstborn. Now, were you done with high school at 16?
No, I wasn't. I did graduate the year following, the first person to graduate high school in my whole family with my son on my hip.
Wow. Wow. Well, congratulations. And then 5 years later, no, I'm sorry. When was your next child born? How much longer after the first one?
3 years later.
Now, that was with a different man. And what's that man doing in life?
He's doing amazing. He lives in Lake Tahoe and he owns a business, and he has been clean from marijuana for 11 years. And he does have a past, but that has been over a decade ago that he has gotten in any trouble. So he completely changed his whole life around. He loves his son. He always involves the other children that I have, and the allegations against him are that he didn't come and get Keenan, and he knew that I had relapsed, but he didn't know. He lives in a different town than me, and that's why they won't give our son to him.
Wow.
So
So,
that's a part of the fact finding trial.
so how did you get your second child back to you? The one
How
that's
did I what?
15. How did you get your 15? Okay, you had the one born 3 years later from your 17-year-old. How did you get your 15-year-old with you? How did you get custody of your 15-year-old?
He's just always been with me.
Well, I thought you lost him when you had your second child. You said you
No,
had two CPS. Okay.
No, I lost Joel, or I'm sorry, I lost my 17-year-old when he was 1.5, 2 years old, in a family custody battle with his father.
Okay. Right.
Meanwhile, I had another son who I took care of very well, and we lived together. He's never been separated from me. We have a great relationship. I would have my 17-year-old on the weekends and stuff like that. We would try to do trips and things like that. I never lost any custody of the 15-year-old. He's been with me the whole time.
Okay. Okay. So you have those two, and then your third child. Your third child.
My
How
third
long
child I
ago?
had in 2019.
How many years
That's
after your second child?
so they are 10 years apart.
Okay. All right. Um, and your third child, how's the father involved there?
He's in prison.
Okay, and was he doing drugs or something else?
No, he was doing drugs, yeah.
Okay. Sounds like
And he's
the
never been he's never been involved. And I just have been taking care of my now 6 year old, as a single mom, taking care of all these boys to the best of my ability, which
so you've had these are all boys, these three children, the 15 to 17-year-old and a 6-year-old.
correct.
Okay. And now they want to take your two 15-year-old, 17-year-old ran away. And now when they came back, they immediately, why weren't they given back to you? Because if your 6-year-old didn't have its car seat on and you're charged with negligence, is that why they were taken away?
No, they're telling me because of the possession and because I had obviously relapsed.
Yeah, yeah. They're saying you're unfit mother, and
Right, right. And that's what I'm saying. I can own my part in it, right? But being on
right.
drugs alone or relapsing alone is not enough for them to take custody of my children, especially when it didn't affect the home that I provide, the food that I provide, the schooling, the necessities that I provide. And me and my older kids are very close, very, very close. They had no idea that had relapsed, that I was using. When they went to my house to get my 15-year-old and they illegally searched my home for hours, they found nothing. They found nothing in that home. Not even a bottle of alcohol. So yes, I was struggling, but I wasn't struggling to the point where I couldn't take care of my kids. Now, is it the best situation? No, absolutely not. And that's why I do everything I can for my recovery. You know? But you know, that alone is not enough to keep them from me like this and not give me a case plan. They're supposed to give me services. We need services. We don't need separation. And they're refusing to give me a case plan. And I've read their policy manual and I've also read up on some laws. They're supposed to give me a case plan to reunify with my kids in good faith effort within 45 days, and they're refusing.
So, what is the current situation you're in?
So
What I mean,
currently, I still have our home. I still have the job that I've had since 2020. Um, I am doing 20 plus hours of parenting class and recovery stuff a week, even though none of it's mandated. I also do random drug tests, and pass all those. Um, I do all these recovery things. I do all these parenting things. I'm in a bunch of support groups. I'm in trauma counseling. I'm in alcohol and drug counseling. I've gotten evaluations done. I've done a lot of work to mitigate the safety dangers that they said they've identified.
hmm. Now, have you told your 17-year-old and 15-year-old? I'm not saying that is the course of action, but if you told them that when they're 18, they can leave CPS.
They know that. My 17-year-old
Okay.
is about to be 18 this September.
All right. So in September, he can kiss them goodbye
Well,
to
they're stuck in
CPS.
juvenile hall because there's no
No,
placement.
no, because you see, once they turn 18, they're considered an adult, and CPS cannot take them. They can get an attorney to get them out of there because that's an easy case to fight.
Right, right. But I'm just telling you, as of now, my kids are sitting at the juvenile detention center. They're not
That's
criminals.
I know, and they're not. It doesn't help them at all.
No, because there's no placement. So if there's no placement and I've mitigated all these safety dangers and I've done all this work, I'm not sure why they won't give me an in-home safety plan as there is
Well,
no
they're
placement.
trying to milk money off you. You see, every time a child's in their custody, they're getting $20,000 minimum. If they get adopted by foster care, they get an additional $35 reward fee for having them adopted in foster care. So you got to be careful because it's all about money. If there's special needs, they get another $15,000 a month. This is ridiculous. It is so ridiculous and so bad.
That makes me
And
sick.
what you need to do is you need to keep fighting for your children. Don't give up. That is the encouragement. Also, if you have a court appointed attorney, you need to kick them in the seat of the pants and tell them that if they don't fight for you, you will sue them for negligence and you will call the state bar at the capital of your state.
Oh, Bob, I've
And
already done that. I've already asked my lawyer who refused to subpoena anybody on my behalf for this fact finding trial or take any of my documents of improvement to my life, and she wouldn't do anything. So I
did
told
you
her,
call
"You're
the
going
state
to
bar?
withdraw," and I called the
Yeah,
state bar on her.
good. Also, you need to get another attorney. You go to the public defender's office in that courthouse. You ask for another attorney because your attorney
They're
is
refusing.
negligent. Well, you just keep showing up every day and sit out in the lobby or sit in their office from 8 to 5. And you just sometimes have to do these stupid things because they should be doing it. Also, you need to escalate it and talk to a senator or a representative in your state. You need to
I've
also
been in
maybe even,
contact with the Department of Justice also.
okay. Well, I'm going to put up this thing that seems to be working with parents right now. It's something called Doge. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, there is a website. Now, this Doge.gov is something that was created by Donald Trump, our new president. And it's been investigating corruption and wasting of money in our government entities. Their goal is to save $1 trillion. And so they're trying to fight. They're at 1 billion right now, but it takes a long time to get to 1 trillion. But they're
I
at a
love it.
billion and they're going to go there. But I know that they're working because 2 weeks ago I called social service and Doge was on the line as a supervisor, listening in and making sure I was treated fairly and recorded. So I know that they're working. I've also had Christina Renoza, Megan Wilson. I go down the list of 5 or 10 people that have emailed Doge, that have called Doge, and they are helping in things that they've made. Now I have a
That's
phone
great.
number, two phone numbers there that you can call and talk to them. Their White House numbers, 202 is the area code, but there are two phone numbers, and then there can be emails at doge@mail.house.gov. It can be doge@mail.house.gov, and you can email them.
I got it. I got a screenshot of it. Thank you for that information.
Yeah, but that is something that, if people can't get anywhere, go there because it sounds like lots of people are there. 1 second here.
I guess the most mind blowing thing about this is I knew the hair test was faulty, and I went in against their wishes and took my son's hair in a visit and sent it off to a lab, and it proved exactly what I thought. And when I called LabCorp and got to the very top, and they are trying to dance around the fact that they do not have a medical review officer to validify these tests. They're lying
Yes,
about the tests. They're
I know
lying
they
about
are.
these tests.
Well, they want the money. They want the money, and they don't. They also are very revengeful people. The social workers are sick. Anybody that has a job, it's a hard job to do, but they should never get the point they should quit if they're not going to follow the rules and help out families. There's no question about that. There's no question about that.
So we'll see what happens with this emergency motion that I filed. I went to Concentra and I paid up front for a test. I want them to take my son into the and stop hiding this. I want this to be public information. They're running people's kids off of fake tests.
Right, right, right.
I'm about to go to the news if nothing changes because that is so unethical.
Yes, right. Intended
You
Eve, I
cannot
have the number. Go ahead.
you cannot do that. You cannot lie about drug tests in the state of, you know what I mean, in the court of law.
Yes,
This is
right.
ridiculous.
I agree. I agree. Um, Intended Eve, my phone number for Doge is up on the screen. Intended Eve, if you can see it. There are two numbers, Intended Eve, that you can call them. Also, they have an email that you can go to and a website. And it's a very informative website. So that is the phone numbers. It's 202-456 quadruple one or 202-456-1414. Okay, we have about looks like about 5 minutes left before my live stream will be over. What else do you have to ask me that I can help you with? Because you've taken your valuable time, Hannah, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you just being here. I've been watching your show. I'm subscribed to it, and that's how I got the information. And this just needs to be more information because when you look on, let's say, Quora or something, and you're like, "Can CPS lie about a test?" People are bagging on people. They would never. They would never. Oh, they would, and they
That's the
are.
whole, yeah, that's why the government is being investigated. Social services and the child protection system is a part of social service. It's a government entity. It was started in 1962, not social services, but the child protection system. Congress mandated to social services to have a group of social workers protect their children from neglect and abuse and do family reunification. Somehow along the line, they forgot about family reunification. Best
Exactly.
parents
And
are the biological parents, are the ones who raise the children.
I just wanted to be known that I after I couldn't get this lawyer due to a conflict of interest, they are forcing me to represent myself in this fact finding trial. I'm a
I understand.
paralegal student, but I am not a lawyer.
Right, right. Well, you do what you can do. It's all about, I hate to say it, this world seems to be all about money. No matter
So,
where
do you
you
know,
turn,
Bob,
it
if
is.
in a fact finding trial, can I bring up the good faith effort fact that they are not giving me a case plan? And can I bring up all the work I've done to become
Yes,
the best
yes.
version of
That
myself?
is called a grievance. Yes. In fact, there's a woman that's a remarkable woman. I'm not sure if she's listening or not. Let me see. She always, yes, Christina Reynosa is listening, and she's in Las Vegas, Nevada. I know you're in Carson. She's helping some other people right now. Christina Reynosa will really help you put together a grievance and a complaint, and she can help you
Okay.
on that. All you have to
Okay.
do is that if you allow me, I can forward on your information. Now, it's very important when you text me the information at the end of this call that you put your full name, your email, and then your phone number. You text it to me. I will forward it on to Christina Reynosa, who can contact you. I also will set up with my show producer, Grace, who within the week will get you a confrontation free with Mr. Davis for 15 minutes.
Thank
So
you
that way
so
you can
much.
ask the questions in there. So that's what I will do for you on that. And
Thank you
so
so much, Bob.
yeah, yeah. And so she is on the show. She's listened to you. Um, we have also Chris Cruella, who is on the show too. Her name is Felicia, and I have many of you people listening in, and I'm glad that you're here. I really appreciated Tenda E for all the answers that you're helping other people. She's from California, and Tenda Eve is, and she's been on my show lately. We also have Dorothy Cook from North Carolina. I've already talked about Betty Joe from Montana. Also, we have an individual named Kay. and I want to call her to see how she's doing. Not Kate, Faye Manley. She once was a part of my live stream, and I'm really worried about her. Let me see if I can find her right now. Faye Manley. Faye Manley.
Bob,
Uh,
what number can I text you my information to forward to Christina Renoza?
oh, let me take down my Doge and put my number back up. It's my number. That number.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Um, I'm doing a quick phone call to Faye Manley in Richmond, Kentucky.
To take the lead, your name, your number, and a brief message. I will return your call as soon as I possibly can. Thank you, and have a wonderful, blessed day. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Okay, I'm going to have to text her. She's going through hard times. I found out today that supposedly her son has been arrested. She has a 22-year-old son that she's trying to get custody of. He's a special needs child, and the police have been after her all the time. So, um, okay, it's a pretty day there at the um, sun going down, I guess. And
This is
that's
Lake
a pretty
Tahoe.
part of the state. Yeah. Oh, it's Lake Tahoe. Well, there was a big tragedy that happened in Tahoe. Some people died in a boating
Yeah.
accident, and so it was really sad to hear. But anyway, it's been really a pleasure meeting you and talking to you. I do have to sign off, but I want to thank you very
Okay,
much for
thank you,
calling
Bob. I
in.
appreciate you.
Make sure that you text my number and give me that information. And I want to thank all the people that have called in. And Tennessee from California, thank you very much. Kayla from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, thank you. I hope tomorrow you can call on the show tomorrow, Kayla. Let me see. We have also a person named Chippus, who I know is from LA, California. Thank you for all the blessings. We have Christina Reynoso. She says, have her get a hold. I will help her the application. So I've already have a confirmation from Christina Reynosa in Las Vegas that she'll help you. She will help you. She's already told me on there.
Thank you so much.
Um, yeah, that's there. So as soon as I get that, I'll forward it on to your Cruella Felicia from Oxnard, California. I'm there to help you. So is a lot of other people. I know Christina is really helping you too. And we've had a lot of people tonight listening to this live podcast. Hi, Michelle Tinson. You're from Alabama, and you're basically the same organization. They're bad. Yes, I know that. And thank you, Michelle. Please come in tomorrow. I'm going to be on at 10 o'clock. All of you that are chipping in here. If I miss anybody, I'm trying to think. Hopefully, I haven't. I hope I got everybody here. But we've had a lot of people tonight. And Reese, Angela, I don't want to forget you, or Lenora Beatrice McDonald. Thank you. McDonald is from Mississippi. And Renice, um, I think, is from California. Let me see who else we have here. I think that's about it. And of course, I have you, Hannah Taylor. So God bless you. Thank you very much for being a part of my live
God
stream.
bless you.
You're welcome to come again. And don't fret. I'm always here twice a day, 7 days a week. I'll be here for you. I do care about you. God bless
Thank
you.
you, Bob.
And please listen
Thank you,
to a
Bob.
brief message from my attorney. He is Vincent Davis. He'll tell you a special message. Anyway, keep fighting for your children, and good night.
vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce him. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.